this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. Ho, ho, ho!
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Just face the music, you're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Yes, you are.
Your heart's an empty hole.
Your brain is full of spiders. You got Gallagher's soul, Mr. Grinch. Well, I wouldn't touch you with a
39 and a half and
You know, if you ask the who's who of who there,
no one's denying.
you're a vile one.
Mr. Grinch, you have termites in your smile
You have all the tender sweetness.
of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.
That was your mean one, Mr. Grinch, from Dr. Seuss' How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Jim Carrey. Now I need to find that Steven Seagal's song, where it Run to the Hills.
White man came across the sea. He brought us pain and misery. He killed our tribes. He killed our creed. He took our gain for his own need. We fought him hard. We fought him well. Out on the plains, we gave him hell. But when he came, too much for Cree. Or will we ever be set free? Right into dust-close and barren wastes, galloping hard on the plains, chasing the redskins back to their holes, fighting them at their own game. Murder for freedom, stab in the back, women and children a coward's attack. Run to the hills. Run for your lives. Run to the hills. Run for your lives. Soldier
Okay, that's enough with that. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike on the live stream on Facebook here, but someone tell me I will. And also get this video blocked. Let's see here, what is... Well, apparently WSAZ sucks today on the news, and even yesterday and the day before that, apparently, which is not good. Let's go to their website. Let's see if their website sucks more than their Facebook page. I mean, I like WSAZ sometimes, but for some reason it's been sucking. But not sucking good. Good. Hopefully you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, hello there. Welcome to Ebcv TV. September the 25th, 2023. It's 9:16 a.m. And you know me, I'm BRC. Can you tell? Can you see by the dawn early light? Welcome to Ebcv TV. And you know what that means? It means we need to get the party started, which means let's boogie! Let's boogie! Do that again. Do that again. Do that again. Yeah, I failed on the first try on that, but still, here's what I think should happen with WSAZ. I want some Amish in the news. Yes, those people, the Amish people in the news. Which that means we gotta go to KDKA to see if there is Amish in the news. Because most of the Amish people are in Pennsylvania, Ohio, maybe West Virginia, maybe Indiana. I don't know. I don't know where the Amish people live. I forget. From what I've heard, the Amish are very, very plain and boring. Which tells me that pretty much the Amish are a cult. Get it? But I'm not going to judge them being a cult, because that's their belief, and I don't want to force my belief on them. But I think they should use electricity, to be honest with you, and see what's up. But apparently, let's look at Pittsburgh news. What's this? 2 units in New Brighton apartment building deemed unlivable after overnight fire. Well, that's sad. 2023 food allowance passed. U.S. citizens wait, what now? Oh, that's an ad. No. Thought that was a news story. Threat reported at Pittsburgh Area Museum. Bomb threat reported at Pittsburgh Area Museum. Now, which? The Warhol Museum. Oh, no. What the hell is wrong with people? And plus, that's sad.
Without endurance,
What's
breakdowns can cost thousands. With endurance, you're covered.
Endurance covers nearly every car on the road.
up in
Plus,
Pittsburgh.
You pick the mechanic you trust.
Act now
that
for
we're
$300 off
watching.
any plan, plus a year of elite benefits and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call
So far, we're good on live stream.
1-855-723-8226 now.
Well, new tonight, a bomb threat was reported at the Warhol Museum this afternoon. Police and museum security could be seen evacuating the building just before 2 with canine explosive officers searching the building. No explosives were found. Police say the threat was made through email from a third party located in Harrisburg. They're now working with the FBI to investigate similar threats made elsewhere.
I gotta end this live video
Wow,
now.
softer than ever. Next,
so I can do my
absorbency test.
pre-recorded
See,
video
it's 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
and the
So,
live stream
Charmin
on
Ultrasoft
Facebook.
is always worth it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have one
You
more test to
post.
conduct.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Okay, good enough.
Honey. NyQuil Severe Honey. Powerful cold and flu.
Doot, 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 doot. Okay, now we need to find a video. I just don't know what video we're gonna watch today. Hopefully, let's look at CNN 10, see what's up.
There's nothing more powerful than you. Making your thing happen. Really going.
Skip. By the way, this is the extended edition.
Hello, lovely people. Happy Monday. I hope you had an awesome weekend. Today is the holiest day of the year in Judaism, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. It began sundown Sunday and it ends tonight, which is why many schools are closed today. For those of you who observe Yom Kippur, we hope you had a meaningful fast. All right, summer has ended officially here in the United States, but in Australia, it's early spring and it's unseasonably warm. Australia's Bureau of Meteorology announced the arrival of El Nino, a natural weather pattern that tends to bring hot and dry conditions to the country. Experts worry that the combination of El Nino and the underlying global heating spells a summer of extreme heat and fire. Australia suffered its worst fires in 2019 and 2020, burning millions of acres, including homes and natural habitats. The fire season down under usually starts in October and ends around March. It's a dangerous, sometimes deadly time for people and wildlife. Already this year, bushfires have hit parts of the country, and firefighters are working hard to keep up with the help of volunteer crews. There are tens of thousands of volunteer firefighters across Australia, especially in rural areas. We're about to join 2 of them now.
When I tell people I'm a firefighter, I actually get a lot of mixed reactions. Oh, you do all that for free? What makes you do that? It really does spark a lot of curiosity in people.
Australia battles some of the largest and hottest wildfires on the planet.
Work,
the fire
like
season
on
in Australia
work
typically runs from
training at
October
school,
until the end of
even
March,
though I
when
already
temperatures are at
graduated.
their highest. Most of the firefighting is conducted by
still
the
at
Rural
school.
Fire Service, a volunteer force
Winfield High
separate to state
School at the
emergency
time.
services. The New South Wales
I'm
Rural
glad
Fire
I'm
Service
out of
have
that
more
school
than
so I don't have to
70,000
worry
members.
about the frats in the
We were founded in
building.
1939.
Hopefully
by
that
local
never
farmers and
happens
local
in my
residents
life
that needed
again.
a firefighting service in the area, and it was a bunch of guys with
A
old
frat
trucks
in
or
the
trailers.
building, you know.
Now we're sitting here in a $1 million plus facility with these trucks that are basically a multi-tool. We do flood work in
Or
this, we do
frat
fires, car
anywhere.
accidents, house fires.
Had to listen to
Well,
it.
coming into a family of a long line of firefighters, I believe there is that little bit of pressure. I can remember when I first told my father-in-law that I had joined, the first thing he said to me was, as long as you can operate a pump, you'll be fine.
As a volunteer service, recruits come from all walks of life and require intense training before being deployed.
It's a huge amount of effort, a lot of hours go into training a new recruit. Not for bragging rights, it's because they've got to go out on the truck with you. You need to be able to work with everybody from different backgrounds. You know, people that work in corporate, people that work in construction, you name it, we've probably got it.
What a range team coming from Picton.
Should put the captions on. I can barely hear it. I hope you can hear it.
You've got to be willing to
I
give
bet
your
you
time to someone
can.
else for a thank you.
In 2019 and 2020, what became known as the Black Summer Fires burned 10.3 million hectares of land across the country.
We were tasked to go and do property protection, but the house is in a spot that was very difficult to defend. One road in, one road out. But then you walk around this house, you look in the back window, and it is a carbon copy of my kid's bedroom. There's Lego all over the floor, there's posters on the wall. This family have literally bundled everything they can into the car, and they've left. They don't know that there's someone there to look after their house, but you staying there and maybe, you know, putting in that extra time and that extra work is going to be the reason they have a house to come back to.
The deadly fires claimed 33 lives, including 9 firefighters. More than 3,000 homes were destroyed. The house Andrew and his crew protected was one of 14,000 saved in New South Wales.
10-second trivia.
Okay, let's see if I get
Which
this.
industry is behind at least 232 million tons of emissions that warm our planet every year? Oil and gas, transportation, plastic, or tourism?
I'm gonna say plastic since it's in the title.
The plastic industry is
Yeah.
your answer here, and it's responsible for the same amount of emissions on average as 50 million cars, according to the EPA.
Optimum Internet has next level speed. Get
Originally,
1
I
gig
was gonna
internet
say
for as low
oil
as
and
$55
gas,
a
but
month,
since
with
that
Optimum Mobile
plastic
for as low as
in there
$15 a month.
on the title.
All right, if you clicked into CNN 10 last week, you'll remember it was a big week for the United Nations. The General Assembly held its annual summit in New York. And while they were in the city, world leaders also gathered for a one-day conference about the climate crisis, the Climate Ambition Summit.
Sweltering temperatures spawning disease, and thousands fleeing in fear as historic fires rage.
This is UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. He kicked off the conference with a special, sobering speech. Guterres called on developed countries to reach net zero emissions by 2040. And what that means is removing at least the same amount of planet warming pollution from the atmosphere as those countries produce. He also asked countries to commit to timelines to phase out fossil fuel emissions, significantly increase financial help so that low and middle income countries can move to clean energy, and invest in climate resilience measures to better cope with increasingly severe extreme weather events. But you don't need to be a world leader in New York to help our planet. Some solutions start right at home.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Recycling is important.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. These 3 green habits have been part of our daily lives since the 1970s.
Recycle. We do.
The power is yours.
But it seems like many of us are still confused by one of these elements. A report from one NGO says more than half of household recyclables end up in the trash. Think you know the rules pretty well? What about this piece of cardboard? Nope. This finished jam jar? Wrong again. This greasy pizza box? Yes and no. This one's tricky. Some local authorities accept this for recycling, but others don't because they count grease as food contamination. So it's not as simple as you might think. All these items are made from materials that can be recycled, but there's a few golden rules to remember. If an item has food residue on it, then it can't go into the recycling. Rinse it first. It's the same for mixed materials like sticky tape on cardboard. You should remove it before you recycle. When something's thrown into recycling that shouldn't be there, it can contaminate the entire system. This recycling plant in East London sorts more than 400 tonnes of waste a day.
Contamination is where, in the dry mix recycling, there are things that should just not be in there, like food waste, for instance, electrical equipment. Food waste will just contaminate the other materials in the recycling, the paper and the cardboard, and make it useless. But the other items, they can obviously just cause blockages within the complex machinery.
Luckily, there's a couple of handy tips to help you make the right decisions. The first is the scrunch test for things like crisp packets or wrapping paper, which are often mixed with other materials. If you crush it in your hand and it stays scrunched, it's probably recyclable. If it starts to open, it probably needs to go in the trash. If you can tip the item upside down, maybe even over your head, and nothing comes out, you're good. If not, rinse it again. With so many symbols, rules and regulations that not only differ country to country but region to region, it's not surprising that we often get confused.
There's a lot of confusion about recycling because our industry is constantly changing.
Marathons are tough. Running 26.2 miles takes a lot of training, heart, and determination. Courtney Rich from Salt Lake City, Utah was nearing the end of the race, but her legs started giving out. She started crying because she worried that she was going to disappoint her kids, she said. Well, she was totally re-energized when her 10-year-old daughter Avery jumped in to help her finish the race.
In my head, I was thinking, I love my mom and I'm doing this for my mom and she needs it, so I have to do this.
As soon as I caught Avery's hand, in that moment, like any pain that I had in my legs, it felt like it disappeared.
My goodness. Poet and playwright Johann Wolfgang von Goethe once said, magic is believing in yourself. And if you can make that happen, you can make anything happen. Well, sometimes we just need someone else to believe in us too. And you know what? I believe in all of you. Today's shout out goes to the Bearcats, Mr. Bingham's class at Burlingame Junior High in Burlingame, Kansas. Rise up. I'm Coy Wire, and we are CNN 10.
Google Fi Wireless. It's right for you.
Got an answer right on
free
CNN
7-day
10.
trial.
Watch
It works
CNN
alongside
10,
your
now
current
on to the
plan,
next
so you
video,
can test
which
our
is not
coverage
this
at
one, by the way. Need to find another video now. Oh, here's another video.
Today we're dousing.
But first, I need to tell you what it's about. Food Theory. Gordon Ramsay is not a master chef. Kitchen Nightmares by the Food Theorist.
The flames of the world's most fiery celebrity chef, Gordon Ramsay. This week marks the return of his hit series, Kitchen Nightmares, where Chef Ramsay does his best to train, inspire, and rehabilitate failing restaurants. Except, there's one problem with the formula, Chef Ramsay himself. You see, when you crunch the numbers, Ramsay's track record, it's not that great. And I'm not talking about the restaurants on his show, I'm talking about the ones that he opens that bear his name in real life. Gordon Ramsay, more like Gordon Shamsay, nailed it. Hello Internet, welcome to Food Theory, the channel that knows how to properly cook a scallop. If the intro didn't make it clear enough to you, today we're talking about the king of the censor, the sultan of the swear, the Michelin star maestro himself, Chef Gordon Ramsay. You know, the guy that just goes around calling everyone an idiot sandwich.
An idiot sandwich.
Fun fact.
Okay, I'm back.
By the way, that iconic idiot sandwich clip isn't actually from one of his shows. It was from a late night skit that was parodying his shows, though reality ain't that far off.
Is there anything today that I ate that wasn't microwaved? You donut. Look at this. I swear to God, it's the kind of you'd expect Tiger Woods to tee off with. Look at.
Hold on, man, again.
Rubber, rubber, rubber! If you saute scallops in a non-stick pan, they won't stick. That's why it's called non-stick!
Suffice it to say, if someone set up a swear jar at the Ramsay household, they'd be making millions. Anyway, when it comes to celebrity chefs, there aren't many people bigger than the good old Gordo. He's earned himself an astounding 17 Michelin stars over the course of his career, and his colorful language has spawned a TV empire that's brought us hits like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, and the F Word. And I'm not censoring that is just the name of the show. And most of these are still going strong. MasterChef is on its 13th season, Hell's Kitchen is gearing up for number 22, and his newest one, Next Level Chef, just got renewed for 2 more seasons. And the entire concept of that is chefs in elevators. Really? Traditional TV, this is what you're okaying at this point? All I want is a game show, man. But of all the shows, the one that's always been nearest and dearest to my heart is Kitchen Nightmares. See, instead of screaming and yelling at semi-professional chefs for the lamb sauce,
where's the lamb sauce?
Kitchen Nightmares is Ramsay visiting struggling restaurants in the hopes that he can turn them around, all while screaming and yelling.
You stuck-up precious little...
Like a lot of great shows, it originally started off as a British series, quickly became a hit, and then it got its own American spin-off with just a few simple changes. See if you can spot the difference.
Richie's got a lot on his plate, so I'm staying in the kitchen to help him.
You run a of the kitchen yourself.
No,
okay?
no.
I know, the cultural difference is incredibly subtle. But now, after nearly a decade of being off the air, Kitchen Nightmares is finally coming back tomorrow for its long-awaited 8th US season. But one question...
And everything was, like, calm. But I still cuss. Fuck you. As were the Kitchen Nightmares in the United States as, Donkey, you motherfucker! You know, it's kind of like that. But in the UK, yes, it's like that in the UK. It's like...
Question still hovers over the shadow of the show. Where are the restaurants now? Does Gordon actually succeed in helping these guys in the long term? Sure, the episodes are a fun watch, but is he actually serving up any useful information for the owners and workers whose livelihoods are literally on the line? And how does Gordon's hit rate compare to the restaurant business writ large? Is he better than just random chance? So season your skillets, grab your aprons, and get the YouTube censors ready, loyal theorists, as we go mano-y-mano with one of the biggest names in food. Oh, he's gonna roast me on TikTok after this one, isn't he?
Hold on a minute. What's that stupid decoration on there? Looks like a skid mark from a granddad's underpants.
Over the course of the entire Kitchen Nightmares series, Gordon attempts to save over 100 restaurants, and they all tend to follow a very similar formula. Delusional owners, disgusting kitchens, and terrible food.
That's the sushi pizza.
It's rice, salmon, crab, and mayonnaise, some cheese.
Wow. That is rancid.
But despite the challenges, Chef Ramsay would come in, help retrain the staff, update the menu, and sometimes just straight up change the entire branding. So, did those remedies work? Let's start by looking at the original British run of the show. Running for 5 seasons, or series as the Brits call them, along with a couple of special episodes, Gordon Ramsay visited a total of 28 restaurants. So now, nearly 2 decades after the British show ended, let's play a little guessing game. How many of those 28 do you think should still be open for you to consider it a success for Gordon? Half? A quarter? Well, whatever you guessed, you're probably wrong. Only 5 of the 28 restaurants that Gordon visited in the original British version of the show are still open today. In fact, a whopping 59% of, quote, saved locations closed within a year of their episode airing. Chef Ramsay did such a bad job that some permanently closed before the episode could even air. All in all, over 2/3 of the British restaurants featured on the show closed within 3 years. Of course, that's not exactly the biggest sample size. For that, we gotta go to the place where everything is bigger, the good old US of A.
One time I watched a video of a Gordon Ramsay impersonator, and shockingly, this Gordon Ramsay impersonator didn't go to a fancy restaurant or a casual dining restaurant or nothing. He went to a goddamn Taco Bell, and get this people, what happened. He was asking, do you have the Mexican pizza? Because at the time the Mexican pizza was off the menu. And then, oh, come on! Okay, do you at least have the one other item, the Frutista Freeze? That doesn't sound like Gordon Ramsay. I can't do a Gordon Ramsay impression that well. So, and then he said, oh, come on, man! Or donkey, or whatever Gordon Ramsay called a man. And then he started getting angrier. And then I said on that video, and I posted it on Facebook, I don't know if you can find it now. And I said, since when does Gordon Ramsay go to a Taco Bell?
Inevitably, at some point in each episode.
I know he goes to In-N-Out, but I don't know if he go. I highly doubt he goes to Taco Bell. I highly doubt it.
Ramsay would get into a shouting match with either the owner or the chef.
Look at the mess of this place! It's ridiculous!
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
But did any of that tough love equate to better outcomes for our American entrepreneurs? Short answer, no.
I think the impersonator was more calm than the actual Gordon Ramsay, actually.
Look at this place! It's ridiculous!
You see how he goes?
But did any of that tough love equate to better outcomes for our American entrepreneurs? Short answer, no. Long answer, no. As it turns out, Gordon's explosive temper might have been better for ratings, but worse for business. Of the 77 restaurants that were featured on the American Kitchen Nightmares, just 13 are open today. 13! That is a shade under a 17% success rate. So combining both versions of the show, just 18 of the 105 establishments that Gordon Ramsay tried to help are still around today. Honestly, that seems like a pretty terrible record, especially talking about a guy who's made over $500 million by opening his own restaurants. restaurants. But I also get it. These are literally the worst of the worst restaurants out there. They were already on their last leg long before Chef Ramsay ever decided to step in, hence the whole nightmare part of the title. I mean, it wasn't called Gordon Ramsay's Kitchens, who are just a few tweaks away from success. Then again, as it turns out, Gordon might not be the right guy for the job, because his numbers, yeah, they're not that great either. As of the recording of this episode, a whopping 4 of Chef Ramsay's restaurants have Michelin stars. His flagship restaurant, Gordon Ramsay, is one of only 8 3-Michelin star restaurants in all of the UK and Ireland. There are only 2 chefs in history that have earned more Michelin stars in their career than Ramsay. However, these top-tier restaurants are only a small part of the Gordon Ramsay empire. For every restaurant Gordon Ramsay, there's about 10 Gordon Ramsay street burgers opening in a 5-yard span. So knowing all of that, I wanted to really dig down and find out if Chef Ramsay was truly more successful at keeping restaurants open than your typical small restaurateur that he berates as a part of his show. And boy, let me tell ya, it was actually a fairly easy calculation. You see, Gordon Ramsay has been busy over the past couple years. His roster of restaurants is enormous. According to Wikipedia, Gordon Ramsay has owned or operated 132 different restaurants in the course of his career. In the last 5 years alone, he's opened 67. There's even 8 more.
Especially if it's for a contest, like Ebcv had a contest, and I mean, people were yelling about it. It was to show their hunted deer, the deer that they hunted and killed, and of course, some people did get mad at the Ebcv, but the people that were mad were actually from another country
that are set to open before the year's end. Now, I did my best to try and get the most accurate data possible. Also, to give the most fair assessment, I removed every restaurant from our list that opened in the last 2 years, since the jury's still out on whether they're going to be able to make it or not. There's also the big viral-shaped elephant in the room, the pandemic. During COVID, anywhere between 70 and 90,000 restaurants shut their doors. As a result, I think it's unfair to judge Chef Ramsay on how his businesses held up against a once-in-a-lifetime global health crisis. So, I cut those out of the list as well. All in all, that left me with 83 Ramsay restaurants in contention, ready to review. And what I found out about his track record ended up being super interesting. First, I learned that there actually isn't a lot of consensus among researchers about how often restaurants fail. The range of results that I found were insane. On the low end, some research says that around 17% of restaurants close within their first year of operation. On the other end of the spectrum, one American Express commercial cited that number as closer to 90%. Yeah, really couldn't be further apart. However, the NRA, absolutely not the one that you're probably thinking of, the National Restaurant Association, recognizes a failure rate of about 30% to be the norm in the restaurant industry. Since they're industry standard and it was kind of in the middle, I decided to go with that one. And you know what? Compared to that number, Gordon comes out looking great. Just 9% of Gordon's real-world establishments close within their first year. In fact, a full third of Gordon's restaurants that opened prior to 2013 are still kicking after a decade. In the end, 44% of the restaurants we looked into are still pumping out dishes as we speak. So yeah, while not every one of his locations are winners, especially the chains that he's opened more recently, Chef Ramsay far exceeds your average restaurateur. I mean, shouldn't be all that surprising. He has an entire marketing team behind him and decades of experience, but hey, now at least we have the numbers to prove it. So he's better than your local mom and pop. But now let's have Gordon pick on someone his own size. Let's measure the likes of Gordon Ramsay against other celebrity chefs to see if Gordon can stand the heat in his own kitchen, starting with his old rival, a culinary clash between Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay. Since we've already pitted them against each other in a previous episode, it's only right that we start this one with a rematch. Today, Flay may not be as much of a mainstay as Chef Ramsay, but there was a point in time when Bobby was the king of the celebrity chef world. So, how good is Bobby Flay at keeping the doors to his restaurants open? Well, he's actually better than Gordon. Much better, in fact. Of Bobby Flay's 13 restaurants that opened pre-2022 and didn't close because of COVID, how many of them are still open? A respectable 53%. That said, we're obviously working at different scales here. 13 versus Ramsay's 80. So, is there anyone else who's closer? How about someone a bit more homey, a bit more accessible to us everymen? Fire up your grills because the mayor of Flavortown has just arrived. Guy Fieri has entered Hell's Kitchen. If you're looking for a chef who holds up to the scale and personality of Gordon Ramsay, Guy is your guy. According to my list, Guy Fieri has had about 46 restaurants tied to his name over his 2-decade-long career. How many are still cooking up flavors today? A jaw-dropping, frost your tips 78 Fieri is not just beating the likes of Flay and Ramsay, he is lapping them. Pretty darn impressive for a guy who just rolls around in his bowling shirt. But does a plate of trash can nachos really compete with what you get at a Ramsay restaurant, like this lobster ravioli? I mean, look at these dishes. One is elegant, balanced, artistic in its presentation, and the other looks exactly like what you'd expect from a guy in his mid-50s with frosted tips and a goatee. Between Flay and Fieri, they have themselves a collective 1 Michelin star, and Flay ended up losing that star after having it for only a year. I mean, that's not to say that Michelin stars are the be-all end-all. We've talked about that before on this channel. But when it comes to what the greatest food critics in the world are looking for, Ramsay knows how to deliver that better than anyone else. So, if we're truly looking to make the most accurate comparison possible, there is one chef who can look Ramsay in the eye and spit on his Michelin stars. The only man alive today who's earned more Michelin stars in his career than Gordon. Allow me to introduce you to the French culinary genius Alain Ducasse. Boasting an incredible 21 Michelin stars, 4 more than Gordon, and the only person in the ballpark in terms of number of restaurants under his domain, if anyone would be the ultimate final boss for this culinary clash, it's Ducasse. So, the big question, how's his success rate? Well, after looking through every Ducasse delicatessen that's ever existed, the percentage of his restaurants still open for business today is 59%. Way more than Gordon's measly 44. And according to the Michelin Guide, even better in terms of quality. So there you have it, folks. Gordon Ramsay, all brand, no bite. When you stack him up against other celebrity chefs, Gordon is good, but not great. Is how I'd end this episode if I was being disingenuous. Opening up over 100 restaurants, being able to keep nearly 50% of those open for an extended period of time, and then maintaining a high level of quality across all of them, that is a nearly impossible feat. What Gordon Ramsay has been able to do and build is just incredible. And while he's garnered this reputation as a short-tempered, arrogant, stuck-up blowhard, the Ramsay that you see on TV is just a character. If you've spoken with people who've actually worked closely with him, or you just watched some of his more recent, less fiery programming, you see he's just a guy who loves cooking and is passionate about sharing that with others.
It's easy to cook on TV. There's talented producers, there's editors, and there's all sorts of things that make you look good. You know, before any TV came anywhere near my career, I'd mastered my craft.
Gordon Ramsay didn't get to where he was just by screaming in front of a camera. He got there through practice and experience.
It's as if all he knows is fine dining and breathing.
Even though there might be a couple out there who are better in the numbers, nothing can truly take away his pure mastery of the craft. If only he could figure out how to make a proper grilled cheese sandwich.
Aromatic with pepperberry and Asiago. And the secret behind this grilled cheese is a little bit of kimchi.
Yeah, I think I'll be sticking to my Kraft cheese squares and store brand white bread. Who's the idiot sandwich now there, Gordo? But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
Run for your life. Run to the hills. Now it's our time. Even though that's not the lyrics. Anyway, hello there, I'm back. We need to talk about what today is on September 25th. Apparently today is National Daughters Day. Interesting. But I'm not going to talk about National Daughters Day. And I'm definitely, I want to talk about Yom Kippur. But I don't normally celebrate that. But I want to talk about it, but I don't know much about Yom Kippur. Or Yom Kippur, sorry. Well, I guess we could talk about National Lobster Day, because that's what it is today, National Lobster Day. Which is kind of interesting. Hopefully, it's not that long. Anyway, let's talk about... Now considered a fine delicacy throughout most of the world, the crowd-pleasing crustacean has seen darker days. Pacific Standard Magazine writes of a time when consumers could buy Boston baked beans for 53 cents a pound, canned lobster sold for just 11 cents a pound, and in a time when maritime New England was practically covered in lobsters, they were a food relegated to prison feed. Lobsters have had quite a journey as a food item, because rags to riches stories are always worth celebrating. On September 25th, which is today, we observe National Lobster Day. Yep. And why the reason I played Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch, earlier in the video is because the mean one, for those people that are watching on YouTube, the mean one is supposed to come out on October the 3rd, 2023, and until that day, as long as we're making videos before October the 3rd, 2023, guess what? We're going to play Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch, all because of a Grinch horror slasher film. Yeah, and that's why we play Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch. Now we can talk about, and yes, it's National Lobster Day, and now we can talk about what activities you can do. Take a trip to Maine. Well, I can't, but you could if you're near Maine or even in Maine. I guess you could take a trip to the, well, maybe, but then again, there's a hurricane, I think, coming or going through Maine again. Have a lobster feast. Okay. Wear a lobster costume. You mean like the dancing lobsters off of the Amanda show? Yeah. Okay, I'll stop. I like the Amanda show. I just wish I watched it when it was live and new. But I watched it when it was reruns. And I first heard about it when I got the DVD at Kmart, when Kmart was still in business. Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome show, too. Now the jokes are outdated, especially the Block Bleaster segment or skit, which is a parody of Blockbuster, but still, it could still be funny, but I think the jokes are outdated on that, because Blockbuster doesn't exist either. But still. Why we love National Lobster Day. They got an interesting history. Yeah, we just heard about it, but let's read this again. The lobster's rags to riches transformation only came about once a railway started serving the meat as an exotic item to its unknowingly passengers. With railroads darting across the country, it didn't take long for word to spread about this delicacy, which was foreign to all of those hailing from the northeast. They're fancy, of course, and while being economical is a praiseworthy skill in its own right, there's something special about splurging, and lobsters make that easy. What's not fun about being fancy a lot? I mean, you gotta worry about also being fancy too. Sometimes. Anyway, their anatomy is wild. Lobsters grow forever, taste with their legs, and chew with their stomachs. Still not convinced, lobsters can also regenerate limbs and can create up to 100 pounds of force per square inch between their clamping claws. Damn. That's interesting. And now it's time to end the show with a song. The song we played earlier, not Your Mean One, Mr. Grinch, I mean Run to the Hills.
White man came across the sea. He brought us pain and misery. He killed our tribes. He killed our creed. He took our gain for his own need. We fought him hard. We fought him well. Out on the plains, we gave him hell. rascals and barren wastes, galloping hard on the plains, chasing the redskins back to their holes, fighting them at their own game. Murder for freedom, stab in the back, women and children a coward's attack. Run to the hills, run for your lives. Run to the hills, run for your lives. Soldier blew in their barren wastes, hunting and killing their game, raping the women, enslaving the men. The only good Indian are tame, selling the whiskey, taking their gold, enslaving the young and destroying the old. Run to the hills, run for your lives. 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 Run to the hills, run for your lives.
And you have been watching Ebcv TV, September the 25th, 2023. Thanks for watching. Bye.